What up, wrestling fans? This is the Wyatt Family Photo Album podcast. I'm Eric, your host. My co-host Angelo, he's joining us, and yeah, we're gonna talk about a little bit of wrestling, a little Wyatt Six, a little bit about our thoughts on Bray Wyatt and his legacy, and a little current wrestling from SummerSlam. Of the stairs, he won't see the sun again for years to come. He's broken out in love. I hope to make quality content for all you guys, so if you'd like and subscribe and comment, would really appreciate it. Angelo, let's start with introductions. How about you start us off, bud?
Hey guys, so my name is Angelo. I've been a wrestling fan since the golden 80s Attitude Era. I go way, way back. Me and Eric here actually connected a lot on wrestling, especially a lot of the older style gimmicks, what was good, what was bad, how wrestling has changed over the years. And both of us really, really appreciated the work of Bray Wyatt because he introduced something that wrestling had been really missing for a long time. That was a character that was an evolving storyline. We saw stuff like this with characters like The Undertaker, Kane, The Rock back in the day. And that's one of the things that we don't really see much today is that sort of evolving character arc and sort of going with the character as they change directions and grow as a character. So that's one thing that me and Eric really, really want to convey to everyone is our love for wrestling, but also really well written characters that actually grow with us in real time. So back to you, Eric. What is it you want to tell these people about what we're doing here?
We used to have vignettes in professional wrestling where you can actually indulge into the story and understand who the wrestlers' characters are and what their arc is. As Angelo said, the arc of Bray Wyatt is so incredible. He connected with so many people. It's not even funny. Like, Bray Wyatt he created this whole subculture niche that's just so expansive through the last almost 10 years or so. And you see some of these arcs of these wrestlers, but they're not as deep as we probably crave, as most of you guys crave. I crave that. I like the vignette style. I like to tell the story. I like to really convey the emotion of what we're seeing, what we're presented with, and then just run with it. Like, that's what it's really about for me. Like, we're a couple marks. But we actually do appreciate. We'll criticize what we don't like, but we will love and try to expand on what we really love. And as Angelo said, man, we connect on that. There's so many people out there that do connect on that, and it's so incredibly powerful. I know so many people that have told me that Bray, how much he means to them, and the emotion of his entire. Well, you, you know what I'm saying, right, Ange? Maybe you can expand on that, right?
Yeah, so people connected with the character that Bray Wyatt created. And we're still seeing the continuation of the story today with the Wyatt Six. We're seeing things going on with Uncle Howdy, for example, which really is kind of a continuation of that original story. And even though the man, Bray Wyatt is gone, the work that he has created is still continuing on. The story is still evolving. So that's one of the things that, excuse me and Eric here have been talking a lot about. We wanted to talk with you, the audience, about this. Is what's going on with the story, little Easter eggs that are put in that people might have missed, and
And there's so many,
how.
and there's so many Easter eggs, dude. You look at any of it, anything that you see, and from first glance, you might notice some of the Easter eggs that pop out like right in front of you. But then you go online and you connect with the different people that are online that also point out all of these Easter eggs and these little subtle uh tributes to that arc, and it's so incredibly powerful and mind-blowing. And to this day, I can look at all of anything from the past and the present and just appreciate and admire that. That's what we love, man. We know you guys love that too. I mean, we're not the only ones. uh we we want to connect with you guys. We don't want to just have it just be me and Ange just bullshit about stupid shit. Like, me and Ange have been friends for how many years, Ange?
2 years now.
Yeah, and we've talked about wrestling, man, but like, Bray Wyatt is the a huge cornerstone of me and Angelo's friendship. I believe that, right?
Oh yeah, and I think it's partially because of the fact that it's still an evolving story. A lot of wrestlers like The Rock, Triple H, a lot of the classics, um, even The Undertaker, their stories have been well told, and most of them are semi-retired, so they're not really contributing much to the changing or evolving story arc anymore. And that was something that was a breath of fresh air with Bray Wyatt and now the Wyatt Six. Is it's an ever evolving story. And as the story evolves, you get more and more into it. The lore that you get, and I think that's also a common thing with most YouTubers too. Any YouTubers that have created a backstory for their YouTube persona, they have lore behind them, and that's what draws you in. And wrestling is no different. It's a story being told in real time, as Eric once coined. And that's one thing that we connect with is, wrestling is like a movie that we're watching in real time unfold.
Exactly, because it's not just it's not just a movie. It's okay. So this is the thing: a movie, you have the story, but it's only so limited to how the director wants to establish time lapse and age and progression over time. Whereas wrestling, as Angelo said, we're it's its own universe of entertainment that exists within our timeline, and there's nothing else on this planet that can do that as well as wrestling does. I don't think anything else does that really. And we get to evolve, and as we're evolving, these people, real life people, they're doing their character and they're doing their thing, and they're evolving also in real time with us. And it's so incredible. Like, uh the Wyatt Six, man, shit. I know you've brought up that the Wyatt Six a couple times. I haven't said anything, but I love the Wyatt Six. I think most of us connect with the Wyatt Six because of that establishment, man. Of what came before, and you have all of these lost tropes, these lost quote unquote uh characters that got cast aside, man. They got cast aside, like Bo Dallas said, man. You know that we're the forgotten ones. Nobody cared about us, and we came together to heal. Man, we've all been hurt. So many of us are still hurt to this day about Bray Wyatt passing on, and not just Bray Wyatt, but Luke Harper as well. Uh, man, the two of the three OGs, and man, God bless them, man. They're always gonna live on, man. They're gonna live to see the test of time. Like they're gonna stand the test of time. 10 years, man. We already lost Luke Harper 5 years ago, and then we lost Bray this last year, man. So many of us broke down and we're hurting, man. It's not just us. It's it's Taylor. It's Taylor, man. Taylor is the one that takes that torch that was put down unintentionally, you know, so tragically, and then he picks it up. Taylor picked that up. And we want to be able to embrace that love, right?
Yeah, but I wanted to interject something in here too that I've just been thinking about. The other thing is, you know, we've been dealing with a lot of stuff since 2020. It's like the world has thrown historical nightmare after historical nightmare at us, and the fact that Bray Wyatt, the Wyatt Six, sort of that darker theme, almost House of a Thousand Corpses kind of feel to it, seems to almost match with, the darkness that's around us as a nice visual escape from the dark world that we're in many ways.
I was
You know?
just thinking about that like an hour or two ago. I was thinking like, man, this is like the Bray Wyatt arc is at face value, it's dark, but when you really think about it, man, there's so much beauty in it. It's not just about darkness, man. It's not all about the darkness. The darkness is only a part of it. You have the darkness, but you also have the light. You have the uh, Bray Wyatt, man. He had the hurt and he had the heal. That's what this is. You have the hurt, and then you work through that hurt and eventually try to heal and hopefully heal in the end. That's that's what
I would
all of
love
us are
to
trying to
actually.
do. That's what all of us are trying to do. We're all trying to heal. It's not just me, it's not just Angelo, it's all of us. It's all of the Fireflies, man. Like it's all of us collectively. I go into these groups on Facebook, and there is so much love in these I'm sorry, I'm getting a little emotional.
It's all right, man. But I was going to say, um, I wanted to ask
Excuse
your
me.
opinion on this one. The symbology of the lamp, like the light in the darkness, sort of reinforces that message that you were trying to say. It's not all just the dark; it's the light too. That's why I think the lamps are in the whole light in the darkness thing. The fireflies lighting everything up in a pitch black stadium. There's a lot of things that were put in by Bray, who was a brilliant, brilliant man when it came to creating these characters and these story arcs. Where he started off as the heel, worked his way up to the good side, but at the same time, still acknowledge the darkness. And as things cumulatively got rougher and rougher, that darkness took its own form as it continued to collect, and that's where you get the Fiend. So there's a lot of themes that Bray Wyatt started that a lot of people can relate to. The theme of being the outcast, being the reject. That's baked into that as well. So there's a lot of symbolism that was really, really well crafted, and we could talk for hours just about that. But
man, we have spent, me and Angelo have literally spent hours and hours and hours just talking about just even the smallest minute detail of the arc. I've got tears in my eyes. This is how this isn't about me. This is about all of us trying to heal, and we we all I've literally broken down and cried over Bray, and I know that there's so many people that have told me the same thing. That's so powerful. Being able to work through the struggles of life, being the outcast, being the weirdos, being the weird little fans that obsess over this shit. This isn't just like entertainment. This is like enlightenment on real world shit that that helps us be able to heal too. And I think that's so incredibly powerful. I don't even think Bray knew what the hell I I'm gonna try to be as respectful as I can saying this. I don't even think Bray completely fathomed the complete power of what he created. It's so much more than even just Bray. And I mean that respectfully.
I think Bray realized how other people would interpret that or how they would see themselves in certain things. Um, Possibly not, although I will say that he probably had a good idea before he passed just because of all the feedback that he got from fans like us.
Well, not just that, but he wrote this stuff in journals. Him and Taylor, they're brothers, right? They know each other's ins and outs and everything that possibly could be. They were ride or die. There's no way that he just Ange.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm a little emotional. Uh, man.
Yeah. No worries, man. So here's at least my perspective is Bray Wyatt was one of those people that was extremely creative, and who knows, this might have even been some therapy for him, kind of letting out his demons through these characters. But I will say one of the things that the Bray Wyatt story arc that's continuing with Uncle Howdy and Wyatt Six and everything is that the theme is there's a continuation of that theme. There's a continuation of the story where nothing is lost. It's still building on what was. And I have no doubt that, the way the story is written before Bray passed away, I'm sure there was a lot of things that he had already communicated that he wanted to do. And those themes and ideas are still being executed now. He himself may be gone, but the work that he created and the storyline that he had already started is still continuing.
Well, yeah.
And all of us are getting to it.
Well, yeah. Not just that, but like the Wyatt Six themselves. Man, as time has gone on, I'm more and more convinced that those 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 five. and I believe Bray is the sixth, right? There's five in the Wyatt six, but there's also Bray who is the sixth. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, they always show the lantern, so that's sort of symbolic of Bray still being there. So yeah, there's plenty of evidence showing that Bray is the sixth member and always will be.
I mean, and then I was just thinking about this earlier. Is I know that this is obvious. I'm just stating the obvious here, but those uh Firefly Funhouse puppets that those represented those things that made Bray who he is. And so you have the Wyatt Six being themselves too at the same time, but also representing Bray, man. That's what they're doing. That's what their stuff is. And it's so incredible that Bray has given so much to not just us, but to so many people, man. I you know what I'm saying? Like that's what's so amazing about that is the continuation, man. The continuation. That's what me and Ange want to do. We want to help keep that alive if we can, man. I know we're just a tiny part. I mean, I'm a small channel, but if we can relate and hopefully others can relate that too, man, that's why I make my videos. That's why I've made my videos. Uh, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like I put a lot of time and effort into it, and I want to make something quality that people can relate to keep that memory alive. I mean, it's gonna be alive anyway, but just being able to make something different on YouTube aside from what you normally see, that's my it's an emotional passion project for me, and I feel so grateful that I can try to heal from maybe my own insecurities and my own problems in life and be able to heal because of that. Uh, and sometimes I'll make my videos and I'll just be like, I don't know if this is any good. I hope somebody likes this, and then when I finish it, I feel so proud, and I feel really proud, and that helps me heal. And maybe that's me being selfish. I'm really emotional right now, Ange. I didn't mean to be like that. It's just it means so much to me, you know?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being emotional. I mean, look at how much Bray has meant to everyone. And in fact, this is a good opportunity to ask your audience, share stories in the comments. What the Bray Wyatt meant to you, what the Wyatt Six means to you, things that you've noticed or things that have helped you, certain themes that have meant something to you. Let's get this conversation going, not just between us obviously here, but you, the audience. You, the viewer.
I mean
Look down in the comments.
the audience is the whole entire reason why I'm doing this. I mean, I could make videos and nobody could ever see them and I'd probably still like them, but the audience, I want to connect with you guys, man. You may have never heard my voice until now. I want to connect with you guys. I want to know you guys, man. I want to know you and how you connect with all of this. It's it's really freeing. You guys you guys are the whole reason why I want to do this in the first place, man. That's what you know, that's how I feel. I
And
want.
we don't just want to sit here and talk to you. We want to, see what's going on in the comment section. Tell us about, your history with wrestling. Tell us about a fun story that you have. Tell us about something interesting that's going on in wrestling today. Maybe it's not something related to Bray Wyatt or Wyatt Six, but something that's going on in wrestling that you particularly like, that you want to see more of.
Yeah, see, and that maybe brings me to my next point is exactly what Angelo just said. This isn't solely about Bray. We've been talking about it for about 30 minutes now. But we love wrestling in general. You know, sometimes I'll make other things uh, that aren't Bray. And I do like to talk to you guys. I want to hear from you about what you guys want. I want to know, man, feedback and hearing what you guys like uh, is huge, man. It, uh, we all love professional wrestling, right? You know, I want to hear exactly what Angelo said, man. Like, if you guys go ahead, Ange.
Yeah, just building off of, what we were just talking about. We want to see more of you guys in the comments because, the videos are all well and good, but we want to hear from you. What, did you like about wrestling growing up? What got you into it? Certain matches, certain things about this match or that match. They may not actually like this particular wrestler in this particular setting, but there might be something else that people can go, oh yeah, no, that was an amazing match. And
Exactly.
that
And see that
brings back up.
that's one thing about this place here is I want you guys to be able to feel that you're not going to be judged either based on whatever you like or dislike as well. You know, uh, I want this to be a positive thing, and I'm sure a lot of people want to be able to just have their enjoy what they want to enjoy and connect with people who like the things that they like. You know, if this can be a place, become a place eventually that where other people can connect and build those connections and enjoy those things that they like together, man, that's what we need more of in this world, right?
What we need more of is on behalf of the entire World Wrestling Federation and all the fans.
Wow. Bro, you hit me in the
I had to
feels.
take it old school.
You hit me in the
I
feels,
had to
bro.
take it old school.
You know what's
you
messed
know,
up? Okay, guys, I'm gonna go off on a little tangent here for a second. Angelo, I literally thought you were gonna go off and sing Hulk Hogan's theme again, like you always do, to troll me. Man, I'm not gonna lie, audience. Me and Ange, sometimes we do troll each other, but it's fun, you know.
so yeah,
I am not a big Hulk Hogan fan, I'll tell you guys that much. And Ange will completely troll me by bringing up Hulk Hogan and try to troll me at every instance he possibly can. That's just the thing about our friendship. So I want to establish that right here, right now. I swear to God, I thought you were going to start singing Hulk Hogan's theme.
as much fun as that would be right now,
Oh no, here we go.
yeah, I figured I'd throw something that was a little bit more, relatable to some of our older fans out there. I mean, I love singing as much as the next guy, but I've already thrown that in a couple times before we even started this conversation, just in places that it doesn't even fit, just to throw you off guard. But yeah, no, the thing is, like I said, I'm a much older wrestling fan. I remember Hogan versus Andre the Giant. I remember a lot of that old school stuff. And, you know, that was sort of my introduction to wrestling. Now, yeah, we do troll each other a little bit, but it's all lighthearted. It's all in good fun. But the thing is, like I said, we all love wrestling. We all can look at something. We don't always agree on matches either. Like, we'll look at historical matches from, like, the Attitude Era or, way back in the early days. And, one of us might be like, that was an amazing match. And the other one's like, oh, well, I don't know. That was an okay match, but, comparatively to other matches, this one was kind of, okay. It wasn't great. So, we go into in-depth talks like that, too, about the evolution of wrestling, the evolution of characters. We've had deep conversations about, what constituted something, epic back then, like the Hulk Hogan, for example.
Oh, brother. No pun intended.
Sort of joking back and forth with each other. No pun intended, because, like, for example, Hulk Hogan was one of the first wrestlers to not sell a hit when he was quote unquote hulking out.
Oh, Hulk Hogan! Hulk Hogan never sells. Hulk Hogan never sells. No, brother. No, that doesn't work for me, brother. You can't be lying to the audience like that. Hulk Hogan sells for everybody, brother.
But back in the day, yeah, Hulk Hogan was one of those people that merchandised themselves out as much as possible. You couldn't go anywhere without finding a Hulk Hogan lunchbox, Hulk Hogan action figure, Hulk Hogan poster. It was everywhere. The dude was great at merchandising. But back in the day, Hulk Hogan was one of those where when he was hulking out, didn't sell the hit. Like, the hits just bounced off, and that evolved later into The Undertaker doing the same thing, but better, in my opinion. Like, The Undertaker really just sold his dead man, being, pun intended, being the dead man.
You already know where I stand. Go ahead.
Yeah. So these are the kind of things that, me and Eric talk about all the time, and, we hope that you guys will engage, tell us, what you like, what you don't like, what you think looks good, what looks dated, what was cheesy about wrestling back in the day. All of it is good conversation. It gets, things moving in the chat.
And it's
Just
supposed
don't start to play more in those.
And it's supposed to be fun. That's the whole point of wrestling, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Wrestling is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be entertaining. It's not supposed to be taken too seriously, but it's a good conversation starter, especially where people want to know, okay, where's this storyline going? Where's these things heading? Everything leads up to, ahead at WrestleMania, and looking at that, like, okay, where's this character arc going for this?
Well, that's the
See, this is the to the next thing.
See, this is the funny thing about wrestling, is that it is it's a progressive story that has been told progressively for so long. It's all part of the same story, really. And for me, okay, Angelo's like a really old school wrestling fan, right? I like my old school wrestling. 80s wrestling was cool. For me, I remember my earliest moments of life uh, watching Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is my probably my he's up there for me, man. Shawn Michaels, Triple H. Uh, I was 4 years old. DX, man. Okay, the thing about me, DX, man. I love DX. Attitude Era was pretty cool for me, I get, to an extent. But I feel that a lot of the time I was a little bit too young. I wasn't alive during the 80s, right? I was born in 1993. 4 years old. That puts me at 1997, right at the start of the Attitude Era, really. Uh, for me, though, man, I'm a Ruthless Aggression Era fan for life, brother. Like, if you had to ask me my very favorite time in wrestling, it's probably 2001. Nah, it's probably about 2000 until about 2010. And I know that's a little bit weird, probably, but I really, my passion, a lot of my favorite moments and memories and understanding wrestling comes from that. Whereas I can look at the old stuff and I appreciate where it comes from, and I actually do appreciate it a lot. Uh, but my favorites of all time, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, AJ Styles, The Miz. I know The Miz, but I've been a Miz mark the whole time since the real world. Okay, mind you, I, I, in my high school yearbook, man, I was in high school. I was the only Miz fan in my entire high school. And when I graduated high school, in my yearbook, I quoted The Miz specifically. Like, that's what gets me going, man. That Ruthless Aggression era is really okay. You get the 80s, right? And it was the golden age. And then it evolves into more of the Attitude Era. You get that. And then you take those Attitude Era stars and then you put them and they evolve over time. And then you get to the Ruthless Aggression Era, where the Ruthless Aggression Era, those Attitude Era wrestlers almost were at the peak. And I know the Attitude Era means a lot to a lot of people. I'm not trying to dog on anybody. That's just
Yeah,
my.
I mean, to take the rock to the millions and millions. Almost, yeah, man, we shouldn't have done that off the cuff.
Hey man, we can swear on
But
here.
yeah,
Hey man, we can swear. I've already said shit and fuck it on here. It's cool. I don't care.
all right, yeah, because I'm just like to the millions and millions of the wrestling entertainment fans.
Did you
Because
really just say
yeah, it's not
wrestling
just the rock
entertainment
fans out
fans? Did you really just say
here.
wrestling
Yeah, because
entertainment
I don't
fans?
want to think because I don't want to think the rock fans, especially with all the controversy the rock is going through right now.
Whatever, man.
But yeah,
Rock is the greatest. Okay, I'm not gonna troll you, but man, man, I acknowledge the tribal chief, and I mean the real tribal chief, Roman Reigns. I'm gonna say that right here, right now. Roman Reigns for life, motherfucker.
yeah, and I mean, here's the thing: like we grew up in different eras. I remember Stone Cold Steve Austin when he was, at his peak. I remember The Undertaker in the Ministry. I remember The Rock at his peak. I remember when DX still had China.
Hell yeah, brother.
I remember a lot of the classics. Going back even further, like when Jesse the Body Ventura was still actually wrestling. I go
Yeah,
back a long way. I have a long
see
memory
that,
of wrestling.
See, that's the thing about me is I appreciate the Attitude Era and the Golden Era, but man, I really, really love. the age before the golden era. And I know that may sound a little bit different, but damn, bro, you know. I think me and Ange both appreciate all of the eras of wrestling, but we definitely have our biases, I imagine, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But that's what makes the conversation fun because each one of us has a little different perspective on certain periods in time, certain wrestlers, and certain characters or themes. What worked, what didn't, and what kind of looks cheesy today comparatively to what was back then. So this is what we're trying to say. You know, we want to hear from all of you that are watching. What is it that you like? You know, what memories you have from? It could be the Attitude Era. It could be the Ruthless Aggression Era. It could be, you know, the old school.
Hell, it could be
You
the
know,
PG
early.
era. I don't know if anybody's ever said that their favorite wrestling era is the PG era, but hell, you could love the PG era and we'll still welcome you and embrace you and want to hear what you have to say
Yeah, I mean,
regardless of if we.
yeah, that might have been the era that some people got introduced to wrestling. For all we know.
Well, yeah, there's several. I mean, look at it. Okay, you go on YouTube, bro. There are so many new wrestling channels. I'll watch so many YouTube videos and they'll be like, "Hey, I just got into wrestling last year. My first match was uh or no, they'll be like my first match was WrestleMania 39." And those new fans want to indulge too. And that's one of the most amazing things is embracing those new fans rather than shaming them. You know, you embrace that. That's what one thing that me and Angelo like too is embracing the newer fans that may be new to it as well. You know, if this is your favorite era, that's cool too, man. We don't judge here.
Yeah, everyone's going to have their own individual time in wrestling that they feel an affinity to, especially when it's the era that you grew up in. And I just want to hear from you guys, like, what is it that your favorite matches are? Like, for me, it's always going to be Hell in a Cell, unless something really epic comes up. I think the Hell in a Cell match, to me, especially since that was really during my youth, was the epitome of the Attitude Era. So, you know, what was a match that you guys really loved, you guys really enjoyed? And, you know, what was a match that you looked at and you're just like, oh man, they could have been so much better here?
If I had to say my very favorite match, bro, Hell in a Cell is amazing, right? Okay, I'll agree with you. I think for me, probably the TLC match, bro. I I love a good old TLC match. Tables, ladders, and chairs. Uh, Royal Rumble. I love me a good Royal Rumble, brother.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, shit. I'll put on WWE
One,
2K. I'll put on WWE 2K in the background and let it play out. Royal Rumble matches with random people and just watch random Royal Rumble matches over and over. Like that. I think everybody loves the Royal Rumble, right?
I would hope so. The Royal Rumble is one of those matches where it's anything goes, and it's always interesting to see who's the last man standing.
And not just that, but as you said earlier, it's the it's the start of the road to WrestleMania, uh, and everything culminates at WrestleMania at that point, and then after WrestleMania, the rest of the year WrestleMania, a lot of people like to say it's the end of a year of wrestling, but for me, my opinion is that it actually sets up the year for wrestling every year. You know, like that's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, especially since it sets up who's going to be trying to compete for the title in the coming year.
I mean, bro, like we got about 10 minutes before we're gonna end this for right now. But let's talk a little bit about what just happened here. It's SummerSlam, bro. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
God damn, what a fucking amazing paper. Excuse me. What a good show that was. I'm not gonna. I hate calling it a PLE, bro. I'm always gonna call it a pay per view, but even though it's really not, you know. But because you don't, at least anymore, you don't pay to watch every view. You watch it, right? But fucking, god damn, SummerSlam was amazing,
Yeah,
bro.
but oh yeah, and I remember when it still was pay per view,
Yeah, me too.
and
Those are the good
you
old
know,
days,
one
bro.
special, yeah, something that was special for me was actually just being able to actually, you know, buy it and then, you know, getting all hyped up. Granted, the only thing I didn't like about the old pay per views was how many ads they still packed into the whole beginning.
Oh, okay, okay, ads, okay, whatever, bro. You want to know what it was for me? I hate, I hated having to pay $50, $60 for the damn thing. I remember growing up, and I lived with my grandpa for a lot of my childhood, and I would beg that dude. I'd be like, "Can we watch the wrestling pay per view?" And he'd be like, "Okay." And then I was lucky enough that most of the time he would be like, "Okay, just order it. We'll sit down and watch it." And I'd watch it with him, bro. Like I watch so much freaking wrestling. It's not even funny, bro.
Oh yeah, I mean, for me, pay per view was that was the time where you went, you sat down, you made sure that you had your snacks and everything, and you were ready for these matches. It was a really, really special time.
That being said, like I said, we got a couple minutes before we wrap this up for right now. Uh, SummerSlam. Let me run down this. What did did you didn't watch SummerSlam, huh?
No, unfortunately, I was at work at the time that it aired. I did see some of the highlights though.
Yeah, and what can you tell me about your opinions from the highlights that you saw?
Um, I would say that SummerSlam, for the most part, was actually pretty good. There was a couple matches that I thought were okay, but overall, it was actually really good. If you want to actually give more details, if you actually sat down and watched the whole thing, what was your opinion on it?
Bro, you started off hot. You have Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. Dominic Mysterio screws over Rhea for the world title, joins Liv. Okay, then you got Gunther and Sami Zayn, or not Gunther, Jesus. You got Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title. New Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker. It was a very short match, but man, it was all right. It was an all right match, I guess,
Yeah, that was
right?
the one. Yeah, that was the one, bro. Just like it wasn't great, it wasn't epic, but it was still a pretty decent match. I just would have wished that it had actually, been a little bit longer, and they pulled out the stops a little bit more.
Yeah, bro. And then you got let's see, what are some of the other highlights? You had CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Uh Man, goddamn, that was freaking amazing. You had uh all those guys. You had CM Punk, uh McIntyre. They were hard hitting. Seth Rollins, he's the special guest ref. He freaking, all three of them just being complete dickheads to each other, calling each other bitch and asshole, and uh, you know, all kinds of crazy shit. It was hard hitting. Uh, then you get
Oh yeah,
then you get what
CM Punk actually.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, for me, it was great seeing CM Punk going out there and really giving that performance again, because that's one thing CM Punk always was good at, is really giving a show for the matches.
Yeah, and for me, this evolving story between all three of them is something that, man, it's an ego clash. They're all being assholes to each other just to try to be the dominant top guy, and I love it, man. Who's the top dog in
Yeah, absolutely.
wrestling, right? That's what it tells me. For me, okay. For me, the match of the night, and I'm not a big Logan Paul fan at this point as a human being, but as a professional wrestler, god damn, he's amazing. And LA Knight, their match, LA Knight, man, it was nothing but trading blows and hard hitting shit, like literally just kicking the living shit out of each other. And then you got your brand new United States champion. Say it with me, bro. LA Knight. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. That was one of the most energetic matches of the night. And, not really a Logan Paul fan either. I remember him from his YouTube days. But as far as the wrestler goes, the guy gives, a good, energetic performance, and I can't deny that.
Exactly, bro. And I think that this is the push that LA Knight has been looking for about 2 years now. Just about. God damn. I'm really happy for that guy, man. He deserves it. I it's not always about the it's not always about winning the championship, but sometimes when you are, the thing is that the champion, some people say that it's not all about the championship, right? But sometimes having that little taste of glory is amazing for a talent, and I'm really happy for LA Knight that he can experience a little taste of that when he's put in so much effort and time and just ups and downs through his career, man. You know what? You always like Undertaker, right? He's probably your favorite, right?
Oh, yeah. Undertaker is easily my favorite
And then he
for a
got
few reasons, but go ahead.
and then he got Paul Bearer, who managed the Undertaker, but he also managed LA Knight for several years. Uh, when before this run in WWE, right? This was like, I don't know, 10 years ago. I think I just told you that recently about that he managed. Paul Bearer managed LA Knight, and just that
Yeah,
comes.
it's actually more than 10 years ago now.
I mean, I remember. I
Because
remember.
Paul Bear's sadly been gone for quite a while. So, yeah, I think it was actually over 10 years.
It was, dude, because I remember back in the day, I was living with my some other friends I had, and uh, we come across uh, this program, and I remember seeing Paul Bearer, and then I remember seeing LA Knight for the first time. And I didn't know who LA Knight was at that time. He wasn't LA Knight, uh, but I remember seeing his matches back then and thinking, damn, this guy might. I mean, Paul Bearer's giving him the good old rub. You know, this guy's gonna go somewhere someday, and I'm really happy for him.
Oh yeah, Alan Knight really has put in the work over the years, but he's always been really energetic in the ring. That's one thing that I do love about Alan Knight's matches is the guy really gives it his all every time that he's on. You know, every time that he's in the ring.
I mean, some people want to compare him and say, "Oh, he's a knockoff of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Rock." And all I gotta ask is, so you don't want a little bit more Rock? You don't. Well, my thing is that I say so. You don't want a little bit more Rock and Steve Austin in your wrestling in 2024. I mean, come on, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Nia Jax and I believe Bailey. Nia Jax wins the women's title. Woohoo! Woo! Yay! Woo! Dude, I took the longest piss break of my life during that match. I just went out. Dude, I had a piss break, bro.
It was actually a pretty good match.
Oh, God. Here we go. I don't know. I didn't really stick around for it, but hey, I'm a hater, I guess, right? Let's move on. He had Damian Priest versus Gunther. Finn Balor screws over Damian Priest, and it looks to me like the Judgment Day is over, brother. And by over, I mean done.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Well, you got all the Judgment Day completely screwing each other over for a while now. So Rhea and you just see all the division and
Yeah, but
Judgment Day.
how many times did we see that same thing happen with DX where allegiances changed temporarily and then they all came back and reinvigorated DX.
Well, all I gotta say is the Judgment Day. They better form together and actually stay as a group because I'm pretty sure that the Wyatt Six are pretty pissed off right now. You got the Wyatt Six who are hell bent on completely destroying anybody who uh, screws over their family. I'm pretty sure that they better watch their ass, man. Dom, he's already screwed over his dad, who's his family, right? He's screwed over Rhea, Judgment Day. That boy better watch his ass, bro. That's all I gotta say about that.
Oh yeah, definitely. The Wyatt Six are on the prowl, and there's quite a few people. He's definitely on that list. There's quite a few people that you're going to be seeing the Wyatt Six coming after.
I mean, you got the Wyatt Six against Chad Gable and his homies uh, coming up, and they got that feud going on. But the Wyatt Six are taking notes.
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing. Like when we started at the beginning of this conversation, the Wyatt Six story arc is really, starting to be active right now. They're kicking ass and taking names. That's one of the things that I'm looking forward to seeing is where they go from here, because that with more divisions happening in the WWE, that they're going to be taking direct shots at anyone that's starting to turn on each other.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You don't think they're just gonna destroy Chad Gable and his bros, and then you got Uncle Howdy against Chad Gable. Obviously, Uncle Howdy just obliterates Chad Gable, and I'm pretty sure that they got a list people they're coming for. I mean, you remember when they had the massacre on uh, Raw, and you had all those different people laid out. You had Chad Gable as the focal point, right? But you still had all these other people that are on the potential list of getting their ass kicked by the Six.
Oh yeah, and that list is growing. That's why I'm saying it's a really exciting time to be watching the Wyatt Six right now, because their story is just beginning. And we're really going to start seeing more of them, I have no doubt, coming up soon. And as that list grows, that just gives their story arc more opportunities to expand out, especially Uncle Howdy.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Imagine going in a dark bathroom and standing in front of the mirror and saying that 3 times.
Yeah. Oh man, that brings back childhood memories.
Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. Except for now you're going to say Uncle Howdy, Uncle Howdy, Uncle Howdy.
Just in time, it's always a naming thing of threes. Just in time for Beetlejuice to make a comeback after 30 years.
Dude, okay, so you know what's funny? Guess who Seth Rollins was dressed like tonight when he made his entrance? Guess who he got his inspiration from?
Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice. He was dressed as fucking Beetlejuice, bro. A flamboyant Beetlejuice at that. Well, Beetlejuice is kind. What was that?
I said, would you really expect anything less from him, though? If he's going to do a character, he's going to always do it to the nine. He's going to really sort of ham it up.
Dude, Seth Rollins is one of the greatest performers of this generation, bro. I swear to God. That dude. Oh my God. But you know what? Just about every time I see him, I go, what the hell is he wearing?
Yep.
I'm just
Pretty
like,
much.
okay, I know he's buried. I know he's married. Excuse me. Jesus Christ. Hold on. I had to get a sip of my Coke. Uh, God, what was I gonna say? I know he's married to Becky Lynch, but I don't know, man. Seth might be bisexual, bro.
No, I think that he is one of those people that really, knows how to sell a show, and he's going to look as over the top as he can.
Exactly, bro. Some people say that. By the way, I was just kidding about my bisexual comment. That was just. I hear a lot of people say that shit, and I go, wait a minute, he's not bisexual. Ric Flair wasn't bisexual. Ric Flair was the most flamboyant motherfucker on the planet, bro. I mean, look at the shit he wore and the way he fucking rolled, bro.
Oh, yeah. If anyone looked in his closet at all of his costumes, they might have some questions if they didn't know what he actually did for a living.
Oh my God, I almost spit out my Coke. Jesus Christ. That gets me to my next point. I think the next on the list is Cody and Timu Tribal Chief Solo Sikoa.
I actually can't comment on this one because I haven't seen the highlights from that match yet.
Yeah. So what do you, have you been keeping up on Solo and his shtick?
A little bit when I can, but I have a feeling you probably know more than me about that particular one. So go ahead,
He's basically
enlighten.
basically after Roman left at WrestleMania, Solo tried to establish himself as the so-called tribal chief, and then he brought in his boys and kicked out uh, Jimmy from the Usos. Uh, and Jay's been doing his own thing, right, on Raw. So, and Roman's been gone. So you have Solo cosplaying as the so-called new tribal chief, uh, and trying to cosplay everything Roman did with the bloodline. And let's just say Roman Reigns isn't very happy about that right now.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll have
so
to look more into it.
what?
So just to give the audience, so I'll have to look more into that now. That sounds intriguing. Just give the audience a little bit of FYI. Because of my work schedule, I don't always get a chance to catch up on wrestling until, weeks or lately I've been working almost 7 days a week, so months later. But what I'm able to,
Or unless Eric decides to interject and just spam you with fucking messages of YouTube clips and telling you what the hell's going on, right?
yeah, and even then, sometimes I'm only able to catch up on a little bit because I'm so tired at the end of the night. But yeah, usually you do a pretty good job of trying to keep me up to date. Sometimes, some things might slip through because I haven't had a chance to get fully caught up yet. So just FYI to everyone listening here.
Well,
Eric
as
is
an FYI for, go ahead. Sorry for interrupting.
no problem. Man. I was just going to say, so for everyone listening, I'm sometimes a little bit behind on what's going on in wrestling just with my work. But Eric over here is usually the one that's right on it. So he's our resident expert.
No, Eric's not a mark. What are you talking about? No, I don't even. Honestly, I'm gonna tell the audience though. I don't know. I don't even watch. I usually don't watch wrestling when it's live. Usually, I'll watch it after it's live. Uh, I usually try to keep up on it. Uh, Usually, I'm pretty good at keeping up on it, even if I don't watch like every Raw and SmackDown or whatever. Right. But I keep up on it every day, I'd say. Uh, anyway, Cody and Solo had a pretty decent match. Obviously, you had typical shenanigans of some interference and, bloodline, Solo's bloodline coming out and trying to s- screw over Cody. And then you have uh, Kevin Owens come out there and he tries to fight off the bloodline, and then Randy Orton comes out there and he tries to fight them off, and then you get Solo and Cody uh, doing their own thing again, and then what happens, bro? Roman comes back. He's got like a whole. He's basically got his head of the table entrance music, but it's like a It's like uh, it's really it's the same music, but it seems like it's changed. It seems like it's a little bit more hyped and more in the orchestra kind of WrestleMania 40 when Roman had his match with Cody. He had his entrance and he had this choir come out and they kind of did their little cover of Roman's theme, and I kind of heard the music and it kind of sounded a little bit like that, kind of familiar to the WrestleMania 40 entrance music. Uh, so he comes out. The place just completely fucking pops, obviously, because it's gonna pop. It's fucking Roman Reigns, right? We all knew Roman was coming back. We all knew it was gonna happen. It's just, they were milking the shit out of it. And Roman comes back. He gets pissed the fuck off. He doesn't have no bloodline, nobody with him, no Paul Heyman. He goes out there, fucking spears Solo Sokoa, and next week he looks at Cody. Cody applauds him. Roman, gives a little bit of respect, like, hey, screw Solo. You say you're the tribal chief, bitch. I'm the motherfucking tribal chief, Roman motherfucking Reigns, bitch. And Cody retains the championship, and Roman Reigns and Solo. We're gonna have bloodline tribal warfare coming up pretty soon. You're gonna have old old bloodline formulate, come back together, fight the new bloodline. It's completely insane.
Yeah, so on that note, I'm Angela. This is Eric, owner of the channel, and we'd like to thank you all for coming and spending the night with us, and hopefully we get to actually hear from you and see what's going on in your views on wrestling.
That being said, thanks for sticking around, guys, and we'll see you next week. Peace.